Welcome to So Alma Media.
The Yacub experiment, genetic memory or hidden history. In the quiet, academic halls of mainstream history, we are taught a very specific, linear version of human origin. We are told stories of slow evolution and archaeological discovery. But in the deep fringes of mystical thought and the radical teachings of the Nation of Islam, there exists a narrative so controversial and so disruptive that it has been whispered in secret and debated in the shadows for decades. This is the story of Yacub, a figure described not as a prophet, but as a brilliant, embittered scientist born with a head twice the size of a normal man, a physical manifestation of his terrifying intellectual capacity. According to this tradition, Yacub was born with a destiny to upend the world. At the age of 6, while playing with two pieces of steel, he discovered a fundamental law of the universe, the law of attraction and repulsion. He realized that the unlike attracts the like. This discovery wasn't just physics to Yacub, it was a blueprint for social engineering. He allegedly realized that by manipulating the genetic essence of humanity, he could manufacture a new race designed specifically to rule through technology and mental manipulation. If you are ready to stop reading the surface level of history and start exploring the narratives that challenge every truth you've ever been given about our species, you have found your home at So Alma Media. We go where the textbooks are afraid to tread, exploring the intersection of myth, race, and hidden science. Subscribe to So Alma Media today and join a community that dares to look at the forbidden history of humanity. The story tells us that Yacub was eventually exiled to the island of Patmos, the same island where John the Apostle is said to have received the Book of Revelation. There, under the cover of a massive, 600-year breeding experiment, Yacub and his followers began the process of grafting. This was described as a brutal, meticulous system where the darker, original, traits of humanity were slowly suppressed to bring out a recessive, lighter, and more aggressive nature. Yacub didn't live to see the end of his work, but his science lived on through his successors. This narrative suggests that the people created on Patmos were eventually released into the world, leading to the subjugation of the original people through the use of technology, the combination of advanced technology, psychological warfare, and the manipulation of belief systems. While many dismiss this as a modern myth, others wonder if it is a coded, ancient memory of a lost era of genetic experimentation that predates our written records, a fall of man that wasn't about an apple, but about a laboratory. The question of whether Yacub is Job from the Bible is a point of fascinating linguistic and symbolic overlap. While the biblical Job is a story of a righteous man tested by suffering, some mystical scholars argue that the name Yacub is actually a direct variation of the Hebrew Yaakov, or Jacob. In the Bible, Jacob is the supplanter, the one who uses cunning and masks to steal the birthright from his brother Esau. This aligns perfectly with the Yacub narrative, who is described as using his superior intellect to supplant the original inhabitants of the earth. In this light, the story isn't just about one man, it's about the Jacob archetype, the consciousness that has been grafted or separated from the natural, spiritual order and must use artificial structures to survive and dominate. It is a story about the power of the cold, calculating mind and the danger of knowledge when it is divorced from the heart and the universal soul. In my opinion, the truth of the Yacub story isn't necessarily found in a physical laboratory on an island, but in the psychological reality of human division and the history of power. It serves as an incredibly powerful metaphor for how we perceive the other, and how marginalized groups explain their own periods of historical subjugation. It is a narrative about the loss of original innocence and the rise of a global civilization built on artificial hierarchies rather than natural harmony. My reflection is that the story of Yacub asks a terrifying, fundamental question: is our current civilization a natural, healthy growth, or is it an experiment that has spiraled out of control? Whether we see it as a literal historical account or a mystical allegory for the grafting of our own ego mind, the legend of Yacub forces us to confront the idea that humanity might have been engineered either by a man on an island or by the internal forces of our own shifting, divided consciousness, into the state of conflict we find ourselves in today. Perhaps the real island of Patmos is the isolation of the human ego, trying to recreate the world in its own image.
Garantangi, till the next video.